It was, oh yes, we were farmers, of course, and sometimes I would milk the cow out in the pasture, which was kind of weird, but anyway, I did it.
So you did a lot of farm chores?
I don't know if a lot, but I did, yeah. And that cow had four, oh, never mind. Had four,
Milk faucets?
yeah, there you go. Milk faucets, yeah. And there were times where, at one point we had horses, which I tried on once. And that was not to my liking, so, because it kicked me, so I figured, okay, off you go. Yeah, we had a fire.
Tell me about how the fire started.
It was John, I think.
Who started the fire?
I think so, yes. And then it just went like fire, like big fire. It was all dry so much, and it went off to the neighbor's pasture yet too. It jumped the... No.
Oh, it jumped the road?
Yes.
Oh my.
And that got very disturbing.
Yeah, very disturbing.
But they did manage to get it out.
That's
So
when
it was getting fairly close to your place then?
It was, yes.
Who all came out to fight this fire?
I know John was there, Ben was there,
and Jake and Dad were there by the time you got there.
Jake and Dad. Yeah.
And Jake Peters, and it was over the noon hour. And then we decided if they were working so hard, they would need some food.
Oh, yes. And
So I made sandwiches and coffee, and Betty brought it there, and they liked it.
And then we kind of got acquainted with each other.
And how was that first meeting?
I have never heard that.
There was a connection, if you want to call it that. We kind of eyed each other, I guess. It's a long time ago. And yeah, when that was all said and done, then everybody came to the house and just chatted, I guess. Yeah, and I think this was a Saturday, and the day after, like on Sunday, I think it was on Sunday, then he was going to take me for a motorbike ride. Well, that lasted about a very short driveway, and then I ended up injuring my
Oh, that was with the motorbike.
injuring my ankle, so then he had to take me to the hospital.
Oh.
Got stitched up. Yeah. Yeah, that was not too fun. I was on crutches for a while.
I remember that.
Yeah, so he felt bad about that.
So did you keep on seeing each other after that point?
Well, we did actually, yeah. Long story short, we got married. I remember going to where the ladies were getting ready the tables and that. And I had great big rollers on my hair. But I was real happy.
So you got married, and then what happened?
What? You were born?
No, but I'm just,
Calvin arrived on the scene.
so you got married, and then did you stay in the area, or what did you do?
Where did we go?
Yeah, Ben had bought that acreage with a little house on there and a barn.
Oh,
And
yes, yes.
he had bought that for himself, and that's where they moved to.
Okay, yes, we did move to a farm down the road. Oh, yeah, there was all kinds of animals that showed up there. At one point, Ben's dad somehow thought that we wanted to have that pig barn, like a full pig barn. We did not want it, but he thought we wanted it. So we ended up with that.
A full pig barn.
Yes. We did get rid of them eventually.
So there's pigs and cows.
Horses even at one time, but not very long. I didn't like the horses. They were bad. The one of them would trot all across the field, and one of you guys was a baby at the time. Yeah, anyway, so this horse was so bad it would just tease us. It would stop at a certain point because we were behind. So when we got closer, they would start running again. I was getting very angry. Yeah.
So tell me what happened to that farm at Ogilvy.
Oh, yes we did. We went bankrupt. Yeah, that was a hard time. Okay, so we moved to a different farm and started up another farm, I guess, another acreage. And at some point then Ben started trucking, and that changed life a lot. At first he was trucking with like cement mixers and that kind of thing. He was gone a lot. And there were little people running around in the house at the time. So it was tough because, yeah, it was basically me taking care of the kids and whatever else came up there, and Ben was on the truck with the semi, or not semi, the cement mixer a lot.
So then he started trucking.
With big trucks.
Yeah, with the so
Semi trucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So were you in favor of him trucking?
Not particularly, but we had to do something. We had to make a living. And I think it went pretty good, although he had to fix things too. He still had the farm, and the machinery broke down often, and so he had to fix things. Sometimes his brother had to fix things, and it didn't go very well with that. Didn't go very well, no.
So he was the trucker and mechanic and farmer and...
Pretty much everything.
So what were your concerns with Dad trucking?
Well, there were lots of concerns about that because one being that I was concerned that he might, semis might get killed or injured or those kind of things. That was a concern. And especially since we had to do both things, the semi and the farming, and it was pretty much chaos. Yeah. And then after that...
So what would you tell us a bit about how Dad liked to help people all the time?
Oh, well, that was another thing, because he was always helping other people, which was a good thing to do, but that made things, there were even less times together with him, because he just wanted to help everybody.
Hi, I'm Betty Bueckert. So as we meditate on what we have just heard, is there someone we can become a friend to in our neighborhood Is there a single parent or an elderly, widow or widower, someone in bad health who could use a listening ear? On behalf of Frank, our class, and I, let us make a difference in someone's life this Christmas.
I remember one where one of the friends was, Ben had just come from the chiropractor, but he went straight to help the guy dig out whatever it was he was digging out.
So he was trucking.
Trucking and farming and anything you can think of.
Repairing machinery.
Hmm?
And repairing machinery.
Oh, that too. That was
almost a full-time job.
He got caught in the. He got stuck in the where the semis were located, and the door shut on him, and he couldn't get out, which was kind of interesting. But eventually, somehow he got out, and if he had not, if he hadn't got that door, had that door shut, then he would have been in the middle of a big pileup of semis. And then it didn't take long after that, then he actually was killed in that, that one accident, a big accident. I got a phone call that just about knocked me off my feet. It was my husband's boss that called, and he was crying. Right then I knew. They came over about 4:30 in the morning. I was just stuck in, no, this can't be, but it was. And we had to take care of things. Icy roads, an incompetent driver, and the other truck was a very bad mix. It just absolutely felt like I would drown in the horror of it, and yet God was there too. He knew what we were feeling and experiencing. He did not leave us. My family did a lot of the things I just couldn't do, and I am so grateful for them. A very large funeral. It was a blizzard time, and it was also people coming from everywhere. Toronto, I don't know, everywhere, really. There were so many FedEx workers, and even 2 managers from Toronto flew in from Toronto, even in the bad weather. It was amazing and comforting. We got cards, notes from all across Canada, east to west, and as time passed, we heard that even in Florida, they were aware of Ben and his legacy he left. Almost all of them mentioned how Ben asked them about their families, whether or not they knew the Lord. Anybody that he met was somebody to witness to.
Like
Anybody.
Bill, our son, he's also a truck driver. He was in southern states, and that's where they still talked about Ben. Later, maybe a year later, they still talked about this awesome man.
In the meantime, life carried on. The next year was incredibly difficult for many different reasons, but we had a very special blessing from God in the form of a beautiful baby boy who was born with his eyes wide open. I guess he was eager to start discovering this funny world he arrived in. He is still discovering the world with enthusiasm. Ben's boss, his wife, and his wife have practically become family. We have cried together, reminisced together, and they listened when I needed someone to talk to. When in-laws stayed away and friends looked the other way when they saw me, when people didn't understand that I really, truly could not add one more item to my list of things to do, like they wanted me to, I always knew that God knows what's going on. Sorry. He understands. We didn't have to walk alone, even if it seemed quite lonely at times. Grant, the other driver in the truck, was in very, very critical condition, but he did recover physically. If you think of Grant, please pray for him. He and Ben were very close friends, and he needs to take his burdens and sorrows to the Lord. I finally got to meet him this past summer, well, at the time. 6 months after Ben passed away, his mother passed away of kidney failure. At this point, I'm trying to be of help to my aging parents who are 91 and 85. Right then, I would say the hugs were great. Yeah. Oh goodness, so much. How do you say that when there's like so many people like were there, and it was so overwhelming and yet so wonderful at the same time. But I don't know how to exactly put that into words, but But in the beginning, when the funeral was done and I was just couldn't do anything, really. I remember Jake washing dishes, Jake and Brad, I think, and stuff like, yeah, different things like that. I just couldn't do anything, that's all, at first. Eventually, you know, you kind of get into, that was a long time. And I actually had some PTSD from all that, but I had a very good person to talk to, and that was very, very helpful. You know, it's okay to ask for just some help to get through all that. It's not an easy thing. I don't know.
So it's okay to take time to rest and heal.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of which was learning that not every problem is mine to fix. The other thing was the importance of taking better care of myself. I truly did not even know what that was supposed to look like. It's not selfish to take care of yourself, because if you are worn out, you're not much good to anyone else. That's what I had to learn. And one thing I would say, never, ever tell people that, oh yeah, you're going to get over it eventually, crazy stuff like that. I had somebody say that to me. This was like a week after the funeral. It made me a little bit angry. It was still fairly fresh, but I was helping somewhere, and the person said something to the effect that, oh yeah, now you can go look for a man, or you're ready to go for a man for something. I could have, I won't even say what I could have done, but it was a very unpleasant thing to hear.
It's a hard thing to hear at that time.
At that time, yeah. And not that I was, you know, really bitter. That just was a little bit hard to take right then. I would like to read the lyrics to a song that I like a lot. The chorus goes like this. There is no valley, there is no darkness, there is no sorrow greater than the grace of Jesus. There is no moment that, there is no distance, there is no heartbreak. He can't take you through. So before you think that you're too lost to save, remember, there is nothing greater than grace. So don't lose hope, don't let go, don't give up. You are not alone. Jesus will be there. You need never walk alone.